Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being with us today in the kickoff of the Europeana 20th Century Subtitle-a-thon, the Amsterdam Challenge. I wanted to give a brief welcome, a warm welcome from our side. My name is Aisha Villegas. I'm from the Netherlands Institute for Sound and Vision. And on behalf of our partners that have also collaborating with us in this great event. Europeana, the Leiden University, is the Center for Linguistics. EONIC, which is the European National Institute for Culture. And of course today, because we're celebrating or commemorating the European Day of Language. Before we start, I would like to give a brief, do a bit of housekeeping. So you might know that or notice now that you're on mute and your video is off, but of course we would like to hear from you. So if you're welcome, we would encourage you to introduce yourself in the chat function. And in case also, as well, if you have any other questions or that of what is being discussed, please feel free to add your questions on the chat, and we can also answer those questions during the Q&A session later on the event. So just to mention this, the meeting will be in English, and it's, as some of you have noticed as well, it's being recorded, because then we'll make this video available for everyone who couldn't join us. So without further ado, I would like to welcome, give an opening words from Emma Charlotte Hartkamp, the Directorate General for Translation of the European Commission. Emma, if you will.
Thank you, Aisha. Yes, with pleasure. Good afternoon. So I'm Emma Hartkamp from the Directorate General for Translation of the European Commission, which actually is the biggest translation service in the world. It's quite amazing because we have 24 language departments, and in these 24 language departments, translators translate from 24 languages into 24 languages. So there are 551 language combinations, hundreds and hundreds of translators translating every day, and then still freelancers also helping us. So it's a big language service, and therefore we also celebrate languages from time to time, and especially today, because it's the European Day of Languages each year on the 26th of September. And actually this European Day of Languages was not an initiative of the European Union, but of an even bigger European family, which is the Council of Europe. Not so many people distinguish both of the institutions, which is absolutely normal, but actually the Council of Europe is Europe's leading human rights organization with 47 member states, and 27 of these 47 member states are actually members of the European Union. But that's not so important because for today, because what we share is the value of multilingualism, of linguistic diversity. It's actually one of the objectives of the European Union to stimulate this. And that's why today the European Commission participates in a lot of European language activities, European Day of Language celebrations. So indeed, the Commission not only supports, but also organizes and co-organizes a lot of events, such as the event I have the honor to open today, the Europeana 20 Subtitle-a-thon Challenge Amsterdam. That's a lot of words. Yeah, actually, we not only support this event because it's a language event, but because it's an event about translation. And that is one of the objectives of the Director General of Translation I'm working for, to promote actually translation to a bigger audience. And today, I think we're together with people interested in audiovisual material, interested in language, multilingualism, but not necessarily translators. And the thing is that translation is all around us. We don't always realize it, but when we, for example, buy our food in the supermarkets, we read the food labels, not only because we want to know what ingredients are in the products we buy, but also because we might want to know whether there are not ingredients we are allergic to, for example. And also subtitles. In the pandemic, we might have even enjoyed more subtitles, and subtitles seem so, we take them for granted, but they actually allow us to discover a lot of films from all over the world, and subtitles have been made not just by people speaking languages, but by translators, and not even translators, but subtitlers, which is a profession in itself. So yeah, translation helps us. It makes our lives more interesting, but it's often invisible. It's all around us, and it's even hard to imagine our lives without it, and still we don't always realize that it's there. So in this, I hope that this event actually will give you a first or second or a third taste of translation and of the profession of subtitler, which is, as I said, a profession in itself. And I hope that it inspires you to learn languages, to perhaps even choose a career path in languages, translator, subtitler. And if you are already a professional translator or a student in translation, and I think there are also quite some students here, I'm so delighted that you actually then not contribute to, I mean, that you not discover languages, but that you contribute to one of the objectives of this project, which is actually to make this audio visual material you're going to subtitle more accessible to a broad public, because the broad public should learn languages, but should also be able to have access to the amazing collections of audiovisual materials the Institute for Beeld en Geluid for Sound and Language disposes of. So I'm happy to have been able to say these opening words, and I wish you a lot of fun and good luck in your week of subtitling. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emma. Very inspiring words. I would like to go back a bit and just show the agenda, which I did miss. So now, thank you to Emma for inspiring words. Now we're gonna present a bit of the project of Europeana 20th Century, the whole idea behind the Subtitle-a-thon Challenge and the rules, followed by the live demo and tutorial, because many of you might have questions of how are you gonna be working on this, some questions and answers, a bit of subtitling tips, and then what are the next steps afterwards. Of course, we'll have some time for a tryout time in case you want to have a handout in the system and see how it works, and if any other questions arise from it. You have to mention that we also have an open email in case you have any questions, but we'll show this later on. So now, welcome to everyone also who's now joining us. I'm going to give the floor to one of my colleagues, Nicole. And she's going to explain what is Europeana 20th Century, the century of change.
Yes, thank you, Aisha. Thank you as well. You read my mind. Yeah, so as Aisha said, I'm Nicole Emmenecker, and I also work at the Netherlands Institute for Sound and Vision. And you might wonder why this long name, Europeana XX, Century of Change, Subtitle-a-thon, all these words. Basically, we at Sound and Vision, we're part of a lot of different European-wide projects, and they are related to helping to advance technologies or provide more curatorial access to digital heritage, to tell stories basically about audiovisual heritage specifically. And we work a lot with an institution with an initiative called Europeana, who happen to be based in The Hague, but they are European-wide. And everything that is kind of connected to this project specifically is being fed into this big repository online called Europeana.eu. And this here is just the kind of entry page that you will see. It's essentially a search function and a guide through many, many collections from many, many institutions, archives, museums, libraries all across Europe. And they come together into different formations to create projects, to curate content, and to make it more presentable and more interesting for people to find, to use, to reuse, and to learn from as well. So this particular event and this particular project is all about providing more access to audiovisual content on the Europeana platform. So if we go to the next slide. this is one of my favorite images that we've been using for the project, which just shows that essentially we are looking back just at the 20th century. And the project itself is also European Commission funded from a different pool, but it's a 2-year project running, started in March 2020 and will run until the end of this year. And we essentially became a kind of a pandemic project in the end, because we started right before the lockdown and we're kind of ending as things are going to be hopefully opening up again. So we've had to do some adaptations and make some changes to things as far as some of our live events or plans for more kind of in-person engagement, which is why this event is currently entirely online. But that doesn't affect all of the kind of editorial work that we've done within the project. And the kind of work that's been undergoing to provide access to these digital cultural heritage collections. And if you go to the next slide, Aisha. Yeah, so essentially within the Europeana platform, we've developed this kind of dedicated area where we've been posting and showing and showcasing and bringing together all the different discoveries and collections and all the different videos and everything that we've created as part of this project, really highlighting and exploring different themes across the 20th century, from technology to society and culture, a myriad of different things. And I wouldn't even know how many numbers of blogs, but upwards in the high numbers. I think if we go to the next slide, it gives a little bit more detail about the coverage. Yes, thank you. So essentially, we are a group of diverse partners across Europe, many different countries, many different languages, lots of different experiences. And next slide, please. This is basically the coverage. So we have some partners in Italy, we have partners here in the Netherlands, in Poland, in Eastern Europe, in the West, and in all parts. So the idea is that, if you go to the next slide, Aisha, please. Because we have such a broad group and such a lot of experience in a lot of different languages and a lot of different backgrounds, we were also able to really think about ways that we could innovate with this project and come up with new ways to engage audiences, new ways to engage learners, and generally to kind of showcase the content in different ways. And these are some of the formats that we came up with over the course of the project. One was to engage individuals who have done great things in their own field as ambassadors of change. Another was to start an entirely new idea around developing podcasts using archival material. We launched a vlog series on Europeana as well. And we also engaged, as I mentioned, we initially thought these were all going to be in person, but we had these events that we designed around bringing people together. The Subtitle-a-thons are part of this, as well as the pop-up exhibitions that we held in several countries. So if we go to the last slide from my session. Yeah, so basically we had a series of pop-up exhibitions over the last few months in 4 different countries in Europe. And we're now in the midst of this series of Subtitle-a-thons that will be held. We've had one in Poland, one in Germany, this one in the Netherlands is the 3rd one, and the one in Italy is coming up in a few weeks' time. So that kind of gives you a little bit of context and a little bit of an understanding of where this event itself specifically fits in. And I also just want to say we are really in the testing process, and we're working on new ideas and bringing things together. So you are the guinea pigs here, and we appreciate your feedback. We really appreciate your positive and negative comments, and just to know that it's a work in progress. And we're really glad that you're here and that you're going to be taking part in this event today. So thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. So yeah, this is then the Europeana 20th Century project. And now we are going to jump into the Subtitle-a-thon rules. Again, if anyone has any questions, do feel free to add it in the chat. And then we'll have time for questions and answers afterwards. Without further ado, I welcome my colleague Jasmine. Bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Yasemin, and I will be presenting to you the rules and what the subtitle actually is, because it's a big word, full of mouth to pronounce, but I'd like to introduce you to the basic ideas and how this event and concept emerged. So what is a Subtitle-a-thon? It's a crowdsourcing initiative, meaning that we work with you, together with you, to have all the sources and we work together with you to create these subtitles based on the archival audiovisual content. So we very much appreciate that we can do this together with you. And how did this concept and idea emerge? We were looking at audiovisual archives and so TV clips. We very much saw that there was an obstacle in access, and that was the language barriers that most people have in order to understand what was being said in these AV clips. So the Subtitle-a-thon is a creative and fun and educational way to sort of solve this accessibility problem. And it is also part of raising, it's part of a campaign that we are leading, part of Europeana XX. And in this campaign, we really like to raise awareness to how important it is to indeed have access in several languages to these archival footages. And because we'd like to reach an international audience. We still very much would like to emphasize that this Subtitle-a-thon is not intended to compete nor to replace the professional level translation. As Emma said previously, the profession of translator is and also of subtitler is a profession on its own. So in this event, we by no means would like to change that. This remains a fun and educational event. Speaking of fun and education, we here would like to also share with you an experience. And in this way, we would like to, for you to test a tool and to also have fun testing the tool. Not tasting the tool, but tasting the tool could also be nice, so that you get a taste and immerse yourself into audiovisual archives, older clips, and also other ways and older ways that news people used to communicate. These are quite different from the wordings that we have now. So also to see these different styles and approaches of reporting and also of documentaries that they had in the past. In this way, we'd like to also engage with all of you, language enthusiasts and also lovers of audiovisual heritage or film. Thank you very much for joining us. And this event is basically the third event that we are organizing. The first one was organized by the National Film Archives and Audiovisual Institute in Poland, in Warsaw. The second one took place in Stuttgart and the Deutsches Filminstitut and Film Museum. And here we are now organizing this together with you and for you. And the fourth one will take place in Rome and will be organized by Instituto Luce Cinecittà. And of course, we have all of these challenges would have not been possible without our really precious partners. We'd like to very much thank UNIC and the Directorate General for Translation of the European Commission of partnering up with us, but also Leiden University Center of Linguistics. And it's been really, really wonderful to experiment with you and to join forces for our common interest and passion for languages and audiovisual heritage and making it accessible to all of us. And of course, participants, we look forward working with you and hope you will enjoy this experience. Before I give my word to Peter, who will show you the demo, I'd like to also briefly mention some important things about the rules, of course, and then I will also mention some things about the copyrights. So the content, we have selected for you really cool content. We hope you like it. This is from our own collections at the Netherlands Institute for Sound and Vision. But we also have really nice and interesting and cool TV clips, newsreels, and short documentaries from the BBC and the Screen Archive Southeast in Brighton. And they deal with mainly art and culture, as well as youth culture topics such as graffiti, punk, or let me think, an exhibition of Salvador Dali, and as well as women's working rights in the 50s and how they were in the workforce. The first electric cars. So yeah, check this selection that we have collected, this collection that we have selected for you in the environment. There are indeed 2 languages, Dutch and English, and we selected these languages because it's the most common languages used in the Netherlands, although there are of course plenty of languages. And we thought that in this experiment, we will also try out something in a simple way. So you can translate from Dutch to English and from English to Dutch. About Peter will really give you a detailed introduction to the environment and how the subtitler works. But basically what you need to know is that you can book 3 videos for an hour, and you can pre-book for your videos. And we have at the moment 39 clips, but we can add more in the coming couple of days. So if you feel like there's not enough, please do not hesitate to mail us, get in touch with us, or also here in the chat. Also, please do not forget to scroll down. Sometimes some people forget to scroll down in the environments and say, oh, there are not enough clips. So go through all the collection and then pre-book your clips. But keep in mind that if you do not work on the clips for more than an hour, the clips you have selected will be taken out from your account, let's say. It will go back into the gallery. We have short clips from 2 minutes till 6 minutes, something like that, primarily. We chose shorter clips because it's much more engaging and fun to do. We do have 2 or 3 a bit longer clips. So if you feel like you want to have a bit more longer, challenging experience, please feel free to pick these ones. And as I said, they're about art and culture and a bit politics and everything that is related to the 20th century, basically. Let me see if I forgot anything. Yes, so now it's time for the timeline. So the challenge starts today as we go through the kickoff, and you will have a week or 6 days of subtitling time. So you can see how we'd like to use this time and based on how much time you'd like to invest in this. So you have until 1st of October, until 5 o'clock to submit your subtitles. Only clips that will be completely subtitled will be counted in the challenge. On the 2nd of October, we will tune in again, with you to organize a feedback session. We're very much interested in knowing how your experience was and in testing and in being active in the Subtitle-a-thon environment, and particularly in the editor. It's been a tool our project partners have been developing now for a few years, and we're really keen on understanding, what your thoughts are. So we cannot do this on our own. So please join us at the feedback session. We very much value your feedback. And actually that's something, the tool we have is something we designed for you. So your feedback is really important for us. And then Daria Unique will also give us a short inspiring speech to close this wonderful event. So please come. Hopefully we'll see each other on the 2nd in a week. And then we'll have around 12 days to go through the quality check of all the subtitles that you've provided us. For this, we are going to look at the quality of the subtitles and the quantity, and then announce the winners online on the 14th of October. The quality check will be done by a wonderful, fantastic group of reviewers. We very much would like to thank them. These are translation experts and professionals and language educators and language teachers and academics. So they will rate the quality of the subtitles, and then hopefully, we'll have some exciting winners and exciting names. So you're once again, as the text says, you're also very much free to plan your own time. And in the meantime, until the 2nd of October, if you feel there are technical issues, please do reach to us. We're always there to help you. And I think there is some few other things that I need to also briefly mention about the quality check and the rights. Yes. So the quality check, we have, as I said, we have a wonderful group of reviewers who will be checking what you submitted. And once they have checked your subtitles, they need to be edited. Once they have checked your subtitles, once you submitted your subtitles, they're going to perform a quality check, and these subtitles will be edited and approved by them if they can be used as official subtitles. And one of the things that we need to consider is the copyright. According to the Subtitle-a-thon terms for users, when you are participating to this event, you accept not to claim any copyright or neighboring rights that are related to your subtitling work, meaning that you agree that the subtitle you produce are not yours, basically. Why is that? Because of obviously copyright related laws and the complexities thereof. Subtitles, these clips belong to archival collections and institutions such as the BBC, Southeast anyway, the archive in Brighton, sorry about the name, but also our archives, and they are the copyright statement, the subtitles should be labeled as how the original clip is copyrighted. Basically, if a clip is under copyright, the subtitles that are going with that clip should be also labeled in that way, to put it a bit simply, but it's much more complex than that. So this is why there is this copyright declaration. And after everything is approved and everything is everybody is okay, which is great, then they may be, these subtitles are going to be integrated in the original clips that you have selected. And once these clips are again approved by the BBC, for instance, or by us, or the Brighton archive, then they are going to be put on the portal of Europeana that Nicole showed you, or another very exciting portal where you can find very cool clips that is called EU Screen. So it's a long process, but it's worth it, we think. And now, after these more law-related things, let's go to the awards, which is, of course, very exciting. Yeah, this is a game and this is a challenge for all of you. So, of course, there are going to be winners, but at the same time, it's a game for all of us. So, and everybody is a winner. It's not always about winning. So therefore, for all participants, we have prepared nice participation certificates. Everyone will receive that. Yeah, we are really grateful that you are doing this with us. And of course, the winners will be announced on the 14th of October, and they will receive online gift prizes at Grootbonnen from Ecomondo, which is an eco-friendly winkel, how do you say it? Eco-friendly store. And there you can select which items you'd like to purchase. And what is also important to know is that the winners are selected based on how much, on the amount of subtitled characters and on the quality. And as I said before, we will only take into account only clips that are completed. And for you to follow updates on how you are performing and how other participants are performing on your personal environment in the Subtitle-a-thon environment website, you can see a very nice dashboard saying, summarizing how many characters and so far you have produced. So hopefully that will also give you an overview of how much you can do and to plan your own time. And then I think then I will give you some tips about how to subtitle. So before I go into the subtitling tips, I wanted to, this was going through the rules, and the copyright thing was important. So I hope this is clear for you, but if you have any questions, you can, you can put your question in the chat today, or if you have questions later, you can also email us. So please do not hesitate in case you have some doubts or so. And now about the tips. So most of you, translating may really sound easy, but it's obviously much complex than it seems, as Emma said. the first tip is, of course, you want to translate as much as you can, and you really want to be close to the original meaning of the sentences as much as you can. But at the same time, sometimes it's better to convey the general meaning of the sentence. So do not always get lost in the detail, and try to have a bird's eye view over over your translation. The second tip is your subtitles may have to be more economical with the language that the audio on the video is. So basically, the first tip is very much in line with the first, because you have limited space. Sometimes you need to make things a bit shorter. When editing your copy should be faithful to the speaker's style of speech, taking into account register, nationality, era, etc. You're going to notice that the way people talked 50 years ago or 20 years ago is a bit different than we do today. So keep in mind to also give the flavor or the discourse that was used before. And it's also very much interesting to see how certain words which were used in the past are now not used at all because of ethical reasons or because of political reasons. So it's quite interesting. Don't automatically edit out words like but, so, or to. They may be short, but they are often essential for expressing meaning. And words like, well, actually, they also add flavor to the text. So yeah, be careful in your selection of words, that you stick to the tone and register and the general meaning of what they want to say. Avoid repetitions. That is only going to make things longer and a bit maybe less interesting for those who are watching. And to come back to how many characters you can put in your subtitler. You can only put, you can put up to 72 signs, which is limited. So keep in mind all of these points that we discussed above, so that it fits the 72 character signs in the box. And to give you an idea of how we read or how we perceive our relation with subtitles, is that we read from 8 to 25 signs per second. So keep in mind also people's reading rhythms when you do this work. I think that will be all from me. Thank you very much, everyone. Partners, team members, participants. It's a great event, and we hope you will have fun and also learn a lot from it. And I think I will give the floor to Peter, who will give the very interesting live demo on how to subtitle.
Thank you, Jasmine. Indeed. So now we're gonna go to the live tutorial and demo. So I'll stop sharing my screen.
Yes, thank you, Aisha. And I will take over. Good afternoon, I'm Peter van Leeuwen from Nutrik. We're the technical partner within the Europeana XX project that's responsible for, well, the Subtitle-a-thon website and the editor you're going to use. So yeah, let me start to share my screen and show you how to use it. And it's always a bit of like what to select, desktop 1 or 2. Okay, please let me know if I did it correct. I select the desktop one. Do you see my Zoom screen? I guess not. There's some security setting preventing me from doing this. That's always nice with the demo. Nevertheless, we can work with that. However, I do need to restart my Zoom in order to allow this privacy setting to take account. So I will be back in a second.
All right. While we wait, does anyone has any questions at the moment or so far? Again, feel free to add it to the chat. If not, oh, it seems like Peter is already here. That was so fast.
And I'm back again. So let's see if it works out this time.
I'm making you a host so you can share.
So second attempt. I see much more already. It shows me it should work. If correct now, you should see my screen and maybe somebody can nod or tell me if they do see.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, great. Well, here we can see the Subtitle-a-thon website. Of course, this should look familiar to you as you have already been there to sign up. And if correct, in the few days ago, you should have all received an email regarding your registration and to turn this into an account for the subtitle-a-thon.eu website. If not, please first check your spam folder. If you still cannot find this email to complete your profile and basically to create an account, just drop a line and we'll make sure you get an account so you can directly start to work on. However, if you already have an account, then what first to do is to log in, of course, just by using your username and password you used during the sign up. Well, if you forgot already your password, no worries, there's the forgot password option to reset your password. Let's just continue now. So there you can view your events you joined. Well, of course, I joined a couple of more events, but for today, it's most important, the Subtitle-a-thon Challenge in Amsterdam. So just click this event and you will go to the event page. Here you can see some of the important details of the event. So, of course, important dates, as already told. So until when you have to complete your subtitles and when the closing session will be, the wrap-up session. And of course, also there will be the progress leaderboard, still empty because, well, we didn't yet start. So, but once you start, you can see here whose account has how many characters and translated. So there you can a bit see if you are competitive or not with the others and speed up your progress or maybe delay it if you're going too fast. No, never delay. Of course, just continue. If you go below, then you can see your videos. Just have to refresh to show correctly, and there they appear now, the videos. These are from the lovely collections, as Yasmin already pointed out. You can see for every video in the top right corner in which what the original source language is. In this case, we have some English clips. But if we scroll below, and it's important that you do to find out that there's more content, you can of course also find Dutch clips, for example, here. So you can basically, if you want, just press the play button to preview the video to see if you like it, what it's about, and if it's something you would like to start translating. Of course, some topics suit you better than others, of course. So just look around till you find something suitable for you. And once you're ready, you can pick the language. In this case, Dutch clips can only be translated into English, and the English clips can only be translated into Dutch. So just let's pick a Dutch one to translate in English for me. And I'll press start. And this basically reserves the clip for you. As Yasmin earlier mentioned, you can reserve up till 3 clips. And then basically you have to start to work on them. This means that you can select them. However, if you don't work on the clip, and that means work on the clip means if you at least not enter a single subtitle for that clip within the next hour, so, the clip will be released again for the other participants to reserve. So this is to encourage people not to reserve all the clips, but to really start working on them. So keep this in mind that if you reserve a few, that you also have to work with it, on them within the next hour. Otherwise, they will be released again, and some other participant might pick it. However, that's not the case for me this time. So, well, I've now gone to the video editor. Basically here you can see a couple of things. First of all, you can see the video title. You can see the original or the language we are going to subtitle in, which is in this case English. I cannot change it anymore. I can submit the subtitle. However, don't do that until you're sure you're done with it, of course, because this is where you are rated on. Of course, the video is still there to play out. And if you do so, you can see that both the timeline, which is below the video, is scrolling with you. And basically, well, the next thing to do is, of course, to add your subtitles. There's the Add Subtitle button below. And once I press that, it will start from the moment the timeline and thus the video is on to insert a subtitle. Default, this subtitle has a length of 3 seconds. However, you can modify this, of course. So let me just randomly. And there I've added my first subtitle. Of course, normally you would listen carefully what's being said and translate that. And you probably go back and forth a couple of times. So you can do so by either going through the clip or using the timeline. You can drag it here to go to precise moments, start playing and pausing, of course. So this should help you at least to set it correctly. So, however, probably when you enter the Add Subtitle button, is not on the correct timing. And the timing is important because it's always nice if you read subtitles at the correct moment when somebody start to say something that you can read the subtitle from that moment on. So we have probably to adjust the timing. Well, there are 2 ways of doing that. First, you can select the subtitle in the timeline. If you do so, you see it becomes highlighted. You, of course, can delete it. I, however, will not do that. But if you go to the side, you can see there's a small arrow where you can start to drag it and make it longer, shorter, of course. You can also click it and just drag it to left and right to reposition it. So the whole subtitle. So the length will not change in this case, but it will change the start and end time of the subtitle. If you want more precision, you can imagine, on the timing, you can use your scroll wheel to zoom in to the timeline. You can see now it's much, it's more points in time, so you can more precisely set it. However, we have experienced in the previous subtitle-a-thons that this sometimes doesn't work well with laptop computers. And well, of course, as you need to be able to do this correctly, there's now an alternative of setting this timing. You can basically press the timing in front of the subtitle and adjust here with some text box, and you can see directly it's being reflected in the timeline also. And the same applies, of course, for the end of the subtitle. You can shorten it or make it longer in a similar fashion, but not using timeline. Of course, it's also possible to change the text of the subtitle. If you click it, either in here or in the timeline, you can see there's the edit option, which brings you directly to the editor again, so you can remove or add again text. Next, to save it, basically just press enter and it's being saved and automatically also being saved back into the back end of the system. So, well, you might start to think, okay, what if I have a dialogue and I need to enter in my subtitle? Well, there's also an option for that. Press Shift Enter, and this allows you to continue on the next line. And again, press Enter just to see that. You can also now see this reflected properly in the video and both in the timeline. Of course, again, also pay attention with this, that you don't use it too much, because too much lines of subtitles will also reduce the amount of video a person is able to see. So you also want to take that into account. Just as Yasmin also told, there's a limitation of 72 characters per subtitle. So if I would type in more text at a certain point, you will see you cannot continue. And you see a red arrow around the box indicating to you, hey, it's a bit too much for this subtitle. You either shorten your subtitle or create a next one, basically, to inform you about this. But let's say this is fine for now. You can just play and directly see in the video above the subtitle being shown. So you can hear and then see how it looks. Yeah. If you're happy with that, you can either continue with adding a next one. So if you would do so, let's say I want to add here next one, it will be positioned at the next line, which is after the previous subtitle. Just enter something there. Can again also reposition this. However, as you can notice, now subtitles cannot overlap, meaning that there can only be one subtitle at a specific moment in time. So you can align it directly after the previous subtitle, but not over it. So there cannot be overlapping. That's important to know, of course. And if you, however, also want to edit or add a subtitle when there's already an existing subtitle, if you press the Add Subtitle button, you go to the existing subtitle because, as I earlier told, subtitles cannot overlap. So you just will edit the previous one just to take this into account. Also, just to show you how delete works, you can either press delete from the timeline, it will delete, or from here, and it is also being deleted. So this is basically the whole process you as participants and translators will to take care of, just to edit subtitles correctly to the video and well, hopefully create nice translations. And once you think you're done, you can press the submit subtitle button. However, if it's if you just have a spare hour and you may not have fully completed, what you can do is just leave the subtitle editor. I know this is a bit scary maybe if you might be thinking, do I lose my work? No, it's automatically saved. And how do you return them? Well, just let me pretend that I'm closing this and just returning later to the Subtitle-a-thon website. Just go to your profile and you can see there's the My Videos tab. And there I can see I have the video I started to subtitle earlier. I can just press continue. Again, now I'm being taken to the subtitle editor just to continue with my work. And as you can see also, my previous subtitle still is there. So your work is safe and you can continue. Because once you press the submit subtitle button, you cannot undo this anymore. Basically, the subtitle is then going into the review process. And yeah, so make sure that this is only done once you are sure it's okay. And well, because once done, you cannot undo this. For on, there's a small option also to pause the video while typing. This can be handy, for example, if you're listening to the video and just once you have heard a specific moment in time or haven't heard enough to type, you can start typing directly. Video will pause and you can press play again to later continue from the exact same moment in time. So people find this very handy. So that's also an option you can use if you want. This should cover the most important features from the subtitle editor, if I'm correct. So yeah, let me start thinking. Yeah, so returning again to the Subtitle website. On the event page, once you have, of course, submitted the subtitle, you can pick another one and reserve up till 3. So that's important. And of course, as there are other participants, it's also possible that some subtitles cannot be or some videos cannot be subtitled anymore, basically due to the fact that somebody else already picked this video to subtitle. So in that case, you see the option, but it's basically the option to subtitle will be grayed out, and you can also press start as somebody else already took this. However, if somebody picks and reserves this video and not start to work on it within the next hour, it will be freed up again. So you might be lucky later if you come back to see that your video is available again to start subtitling. And yeah, don't forget, of course, to scroll down to see all the videos. And if you think really like, oh, I did already so much, there's nothing left for me, well, just get in touch with us so that more videos will be added, of course. But we guess we made a nice collection of clips, and we hope also you enjoyed it. So I guess this is these are the most important highlights for the live demo. So I guess now it's up to you if you have any questions or well, yeah, any things you want to share with us to say. Then I can see if we can answer that.
Thank you, Peter. I believe it is, yeah, questions and answers at the moment. So if anyone has any questions so far, now it's the opportunity to unmute yourself and let us know if you have any doubts. Because I've seen that nobody has added anything on the chat so far. Am I right? So
Well,
Okay.
I hope at least my demo was super clear for all of you. However, I often have the same when I'm watching a demo, and later on when starting to use it myself, I notice, how does this work, or this doesn't work well. That's okay. That's also why after this Q&A, there's some time to try out. So if you have time, and I hope you have, of course, please start to look around and start to fiddle around. I mean, I don't expect you, of course, to fully subtitle, but at least try it. And if you notice something that doesn't work for you, maybe, or something you don't understand, you can then directly ask, and we can hopefully help you with that.
Thank you, Peter. So yeah, we can jump in now to try out time.
Yeah.
I also want
one more thing then to add. If people now would log in, they won't be able to start because I have to change something in the system to allow that, because I want a fair start. So I will change it, and meanwhile you can continue.
So let me then. I believe we have a question right now from Erin. Question: we won't be able to exceed 72 characters, right? They will automatically turn red then. What happens if you exceed the 72 characters?
Good question. Well, if you exceed or have a maximum of 72 characters, if you type in the 73rd character, basically your border will become red, and that character won't show anymore. So yeah, it's really enforcing this limit of 72 characters, a maximum, and you can continue to type, but it won't appear. So yeah, you have to be creative, shorten your sentence, or divide it into 2 subtitles, for example. So yeah, that's really to enforce this limitation on subtitles.
So the word will appear like cut off in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're in the middle of a word, then you really have to remodify your subtitle. Otherwise, it looks, well, people might not be able to understand what you meant there.
Okay, got it. And it says, thank you, handy tool. Valerie has a question. Hi everyone, thanks for the information introduction so far regarding the software. Is there an indicator of the limit for the number of characters per line as opposed to per subtitle built in? So I'm guessing per line, is there like a limit?
Well, I would really make it different. I think I sometimes see with software that they indicate like, okay, you have 1 of 72 characters already entered. That's not in this tool, but it would definitely be a handy feature to know how far you are before you start. Maybe if you're in the 69th character already, you might not type in a word anymore that's long. I hope I understood that correctly, Valerie, or if not, just let us know then.
So I think it's, yeah, so like per line, if like you divide the 72 characters per line, but I think you did answer the question.
Yeah. So and with the lines, I mean the enters, and then I really have to think technical a bit. Do not count, or do they count as a character? Well, at least as long as you don't. Yeah, it's just an enter. It's just probably maybe a 1 character just as a space being counted there. So as long as you don't have 72 lines, which I also wouldn't recommend because the screen becomes full, I think you should be able. But in general, what we see with subtitles often is that there are 2, maybe 3 lines, but also be cautious with this, because yeah, if there are too many lines, it also becomes not very clear for the user viewing the subtitle and having to read the subtitle together with viewing the video behind it, basically. So.
Okay. And I believe also the videos are quite short, so maybe they do not talk that much, like after another, so there's space for them to be spread out, the subtitles. Okay.
Yeah. There's definitely space also to spread out. And normally the subtitles will take up the space of the width of the video, which allow definitely for the 72 characters to fit in the 2 lines naturally. However, if you use the enter to enforce multiple lines, then you have to be careful a bit to not overuse it.
Okay, thank you, Peter. So I just wanted, if anyone has any other questions, then feel free. I just wanted to show, before going to the tryout time, I'm gonna briefly show my screen again, just to, can you hand me the host, Peter, please?
Let me find out how to do that.
next to my name, I think there's the button, and then you can say make her a host as well.
I can make you a host, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Thank you. Just to wrap it up in a way, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so the next steps. Okay, so Jasmine already mentioned this, but so pretty much we're kicking off after, right now, after this presentation, and then it will run up to the 1st of October. That's I believe Friday at 5 p.m. Local time in Amsterdam. Then we will see you back in the feedback session for everyone who can join us, and because it's already been mentioned, but we really value your opinion and how your experience throughout the whole session. And we'll be doing the announcement of winners on the 14th of October. This gives us a bit of time to, as we mentioned, to review all the content and then finally come to decide who will be the 3 lucky winners. We will announce them online. So we'll put it on the website and at the same time on social media, probably from EU Screen, but we'll let you know on this. Again, so as mentioned, now over to you for the tryout, but of course we're here for your support anytime. Technical support, meaning you find a bug or something is not working with the system, you can send us an email at support@subtitle-a-thon.eu. But for other general questions, you can do that at subtitles@euscreen.eu. In any case, if you don't know what kind of question or you have a question you're not sure if it's technical or not, in any case, feel free to send it to the euscreen.eu or the other one. It's fine. We can also find a way for us to get back to you. We're open pretty much 24/7 for any doubts that you have. Okay, so now I'm gonna stop sharing again.
See, one more question we got. So is there a shortcut to select the timestamps of the subtitle, or just the dragging of the line itself in the timeline, editing the time on the left of the subtitle? There's not a shortcut for that. However, good idea. I never thought about such thing. Maybe also to use the arrow keys, for example, to easily increase or decrease, for example, the timings. So no, you really have to now either on the timeline drag it, the subtitle to reposition it. However, with laptops, we heard in earlier sessions the feedback that that's quite hard or almost impossible. So that's why there's now the option also in front of the subtitle to press there and to basically edit there with the up and down arrows to the exact timing up until 1/10 of a second, which we think should be sufficient for you, but definitely a good remark to have this also maybe shortcut.
That's a good point for our feedback session to know this details. Thank you, Amber. So I guess now will be time to try out. If you have your account already set up or you're about to do that, then I think, Peter, is it now a good moment for them to start?
Yeah, I just put it live. So that means that if you now go to the subtitle.eu website, go to profile, select the event, it might be that on the event page still shows that the event is not yet active, or then please refresh your browser window again, and then it will show you at least the list of subtitles, and you can start to basically pick one or view a video and see what you want to pick, of course. And well, if something doesn't work or you cannot figure out where your email is to start working on it, just drop a line and we can directly help you here.
Perfect. So it seems like we went through the presentation quite fast. So I'm gonna hang out here for some, I don't know, around 20 more minutes in case anyone has any other comments, questions, and feel free to go about it. Or if you cannot do that now, then, again, any other questions, send us an email. Okay, so thank you, everyone. And I think we can stop also recording at this moment.